There are moments in history that invite celebration, and there are moments that demand reflection and deliberation. This is one of them. This year, the United States marks 250 years of independence, 250 years of triumphs and trials, of wars and reconciliations, innovation and reinvention of bold ideas, difficult conversations, and institutions that have continued to evolve. Whether one agrees with every chapter of America's story or not, one truth remains very true, undeniable, and that is the fact that great nations are not built overnight. They are built over several generations, both with the wealth beneath the soil and with the strength of their institutions, the quality of their leadership, and the willingness to invest in people. This afternoon, we're asking an important question. What can Nigeria learn from that journey? What role can educational exchange, leadership development, and global partnerships play in building the Nigeria that we all hope to see? And perhaps the most important question of all, how do we ensure that knowledge acquired abroad becomes the transformation here at home? On that note, let me welcome you to the beam, where curiosity stirs conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. Here we bring you the insight that inspire you, and that is why we're here, to ensure that you have something different from what normal programming is. You're welcome. I'm Sunes Nathaniel, and today joining me is an accomplished physicist, ICT strategist, gender scholar, organizational development expert, and development practitioner whose career has spanned more than 3 decades, and she is the first elected national president of the United States Government Exchange Alumni Association of Nigeria, bringing together a network of more than 14,000 alumni of the U.S. Government Exchange programs. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Nosayaba Tukura. Doctor, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Sunes, for having me. It's such a delight and a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's. I think it's a very important one that we have you here, especially on this occasion when we have 250 years. It's something remarkable. It's something that we need to speak to, especially when it comes to the relationship between Nigeria and the United States and what we can do together moving forward. So let me begin with this question then. The USGAAN, that's the alumni body, brings together Nigerians who have participated in U.S. government programs and exchanges all around. And beyond connecting this alumni, what else is the vision and mission of this association?
Yes, so like you said, we are a very robust group of people who have benefited from over 28 exchange programs that the U.S. runs in Nigeria. And so what the association does is not just to network, but to actually create a base where people can, put back together in a collective way, what they have gained from their particular exchange program. And so we have very diverse programs. And so that means that we have alumni in government, we have alumni in the non-governmental space, civil society groups, academia, sports, even writing. We were talking about that a while ago. And then we even have alumni that are young secondary school students, because in their SS2 year, they leave for the US and spend that entire SS2 year in a high school in the US, and then return to do their final year in secondary school. Now, quite a number of them have grown. They're doctors, engineers. They're in various, areas of life. So what the alumni does is to harness all of this experience and expertise in a way that we're able to contribute cohesively to national development and transformation.
That's interesting. So as the U.S. marks 250 years of independence, what lessons do you think, this milestone offers, a democracy like ours, like Nigeria, the nation building? What do we learn from it? The leadership, that resilience that needs to be built to build real strong institutions that move nations forward. What are the lessons we can learn from this 250 years?
Yeah, it's a great pleasure for us to be celebrating with the U.S. I mean, 250 years, that's a lot. That's a long time. And like you said in your intro, it's been full of all kinds of things. It's been a rough ride. You know, they've had conflicts, they had a civil war, they've had different issues. And it's not all Uhuru yet. They are still dealing with quite a lot. But there's so much that we can learn from them. And one of it is that nation building is a process, and it's messy. It also, like you said, it means that we need to be resilient. Yeah, there are conflicts that happen, but one of the things we can learn from the US is how do we have disagreements and have those conflicts without destroying the system. We will never be uniform in our thinking. We will never be uniform in our expectations. So people have different expectations, they have different desires and all of that. But how can we put the well-being of the country before our individual interests and desires? And those are some of the lessons we see. Building strong institutions, like you have said, credibility, giving the people the opportunity to be able to hold the leaders accountable. So we need not just to, a lot of time we focus on the leadership, which is true, but the citizens also have a great deal to play, because it's only together that we can actually make a great nation. And we've seen that, we've seen the systems tested in the US, and we've seen the system wins. And that's because strong structures have been built. So these are lessons that we need to learn and put in place in Nigeria.
All right, let me then go further to say, over the years, we've seen this alumni, over the years, people come, thousands of them, and one of those things that we will be asking is the collective impact. What has it been like? What is it supposed to be after this? Where do we see it going to? That collective impact of all those who have been trained, of those who have gone to, just do the various programs. Yes. Where do we go from here? How does it impact Nigeria, basically? So
we have alumni who are in governance, like I said, and they're making impact. They're making impact, contributing to the passing of bills and some of those things in governance. We have alumni who are in healthcare. We have alumni who are in technology. A lot of the startups and, small businesses have come up because of the experiences that quite a number of alumni have had. We have the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs, for instance. So and then these alumni, when they come back, they don't just keep the knowledge to themselves. They are intentional in stepping it down. They are intentional in giving back to the society, in contributing in very tangible ways to the development of society. So that's why I said we have alumni who have been part of government, who are part of government and have contributed. So across the landscape of the economy, we have alumni contributing. All right.
So now, when people see the exchange programs and they see opportunities for advancement, right? How has the alumni body, transformed individual success? That's just bordering upon what we need to do, because we were talking about some people don't see it as coming back to impact, right? And all that. People just see it as, hey, it's just me, and then I grow from there. So looking at that when the individual is transformed, how do we ensure that, hey, when they come back, they're able to, impact the nation? Because one of the problems that happens is they get all the trainings, they even impact people over there, but they come back here and there are bottlenecks. How do we ensure that that bottleneck is, done away with?
Okay, so like you said, because of the weak systems that can drain the life and the energy out of those alumni, that's why we encourage alumni when they return to be part of chapters. That collective impact helps to sustain the fervor, the energy. For instance, when I was in the US for my own exchange program, 2005 to 2006, I had 1,000,001 things. I saw Nigeria from a different perspective, from outside of the box. And oftentimes I will cry and say, oh my, it's so overwhelming when you think of all the plethora of things that we have to deal with. But when we are a collective, when we are together, this song about this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So when you bring your little light, I bring my little light, it makes a bigger light. So when we encourage alumni, when they return, to be part of a chapter, part of their Exchange Alumni Association, so that because they are mingling, you know, and collaborating with people of like minds, they are able to ignite and to even have greater impact than they would if they were alone. And then we encourage alumni to partner with others. There are people in the society who have these burdens, who have these desires, and who also have the skills and expertise. So when we bring the alumni and the non-alumni together in these spaces, we are able to contribute to changing the culture and to changing, you know, the way things are done in the spaces where we are. Everyone has influence, and we want to keep encouraging our alumni to understand that and to use it positively.
Yeah, that's well said. Really beautifully said. You know, I'm tempted to follow up and say, how much of that would you say has really worked? How much of that have we seen? If you were going to rate it, how much of that impact are we seeing? Like, how effective has it been in really transforming, changing, ensuring that, you know, we have that touch of that excellence that we go to, you know, acquire, you know, build, and all that?
I can give you 2 examples quickly. You've heard about the Not Too Young to Run. Mm-hmm. So that's an alum. It was powered by an alum, you know, and that has changed the whole landscape of, you know, young people coming. You see how young people are now stepping to the plate, you know, to stand for elective positions. Then you also have the slum to school that affected more, you know, nearly 700,000 children. And so we have alumni doing amazing things in different places. So what the association is doing is we're trying to bring all of that to the limelight, because a lot of the light is shining, you know, individually in different places. So when we bring it together, then we'll be able to showcase to the nation how much impact we're making as USGN alumni.
All right. So you lead a network of over 14,000 accomplished Nigerians. Mm-hmm. And if you could mobilize this number for one collective expertise, as to solve just one major need in this nation today, what will it be? I mean, maybe not in 1 year, maybe in the next 5 years, maybe in the next decade. If you say channel all that energy, something that needs to change, what will it be and why?
It will be integrity. If we could work as a collective community and showcase integrity and really own it, it will change a lot in this nation. The issues of corruption have eaten deeply into the fabric of this nation. It's not just at the top. It's everywhere, at every level, on the streets, in the market. So if we as alum, these 14,000, if we could mobilize even 50% of us and say, look, let us live by this value, and let our DNA, you know, like a virus, let it infect, go out of our ways, out of our way in the different areas and sectors that we operate, to truly demonstrate transparency and integrity and get it embedded, integrated into the Nigerian system. It will change things.
I agree. It will change things. You're watching The Beam. Today we are reflecting on what it takes, you know, to build a nation that endures. And my guest is Dr. Nosaya Batukura. And when we return, we're going to be discussing the future of Nigeria, the promise of its young people, and why investing in people may be the greatest investment that any nation can actually invest in. Don't go away. It promises to be very exciting. We'll be right back.